Alhamdulillahi wahda, wassalatu wassalamu ala man la nabiyya ba'da, amma ba'd. فعن أبي عبد الرحمن عبد الله بن مسعود رضي الله عنه قال حدثنا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وهو الصادق المصدوق إن أحدكم يجمع خلقه في بطن أمه 40 يوما نطفة ثم يكون علقة مثل ذلك ثم يكون مضغة مثل ذلك ثم يرسل إليه الملك ثم يرسل إليه الملك فينفخ فيه الروح ويؤمر بأربع كلمات بكتب رزقه وأجله وعمله وشقي أم سعيد فوالله الذي لا إله غيره إن أحدكم ليعمل بعمل أهل الجنة حتى ما يكون بينه وبينها إلا ذراع فيسبق عليه الكتاب فيعمل بعمل أهل النار فيدخلها وإن أحدكم ليعمل بعمل أهل النار حتى يكون ما بينه وبينها إلا ذراع فيسبق عليه الكتاب فيعمل بعمل أهل الجنة فيدخلها متفق عليه. مين Imam, this hadith is agreed upon by Imam Bukhari and Imam Muslim generally. On the authority of Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he said, Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he is truthful and he is being believed, he's been testified for his truthfulness. He narrated to us, verily, each of you is brought together in his mother's womb for 40 days. Then it is therein a clinging object during this period. Thereafter, it is therein a lump looking like it has been chewed in this period. The angel is then sent to him and he breathes into him the spirit. He is also commanded to issue 4 decrees to record his sustenance, his lifespan, his deeds, and whether he will be unhappy by entering hellfire or happy by entering paradise. I swear by Allah, other than whom there is no God. Certainly, one of you will definitely perform the deeds of the people of paradise until there is not between him and paradise except an arm's length of distance. And then what has been recorded will overtake him, and he shall perform the deeds of the people of hellfire and then enter it. And certainly, one of you will definitely perform the acts of the people of hellfire until there is not between him and the hell except an arm's length. And then what has been recorded will overtake him, and he shall perform the deeds of the people of paradise and enter it. So this hadith has been narrated by Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiallahu ta'ala anhu. And Abdullah ibn Mas'ud is Abu Abdul Rahman. Abu Abdul Rahman is his kunya, father of Abdul Rahman. He's also called Ibn Abd. Ibn Abd. Abd is him, Abdullah. Abd's mother's son. So they just call him Ibn Abd. That was one of his titles as well. People used to call him nicknames, not title, but nickname or ignominy. He was 6th person to embrace Islam. His mother was also a very early convert to Islam. He was the first to publicly recite the Quran in Mecca. He took permission from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, entered Kaaba, and then he started reciting. Abu Jahl and the likes were there. They just took him and they tried to stop him, but he wouldn't listen. Then they started hitting him and beating him up. He became unconscious. And then Muslims just took him and then he regained his consciousness. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Did I not tell you don't do that? They would not leave you because you haven't got any tribal support here. You are from other parts. You're weak, from weak family, weak tribe. And no one is going to be there to help you. We are doing this, religious practices at the moment in, private at the moment. Allah hasn't allowed us to go out." He said, "Ya Rasulullah, I have never felt the most beautiful taste about being Muslim until today. Let me do one more. Once more, I want to do the same." Again, he did that. he insisted too much. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam allowed him, and he announced, he recited the Quran again and again, being beaten up. And then he wanted to do the third time. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, no more. He migrated to Abyssinia, and he also to Medina with Rasul, during the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He would frequent Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam so often that people actually thought that he was part of the family of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He would carry the sandals of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This was his job. Carry his, cushion, and he was like literally a PA to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He died in Medina when he returned back 32 years after Hijrah. Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu, during his time, asked him to go to Kufa, which is a city Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu in his time established. He founded that in Iraq when the Muslims conquered it. So he was sent there as the teacher. So they said, and Sayyidina Umar said to them, "O people of Kufa, I am preferring yourselves, you people, over me when I'm sending this knowledgeable person to you." So take advantage of him being there. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud was one of those people who Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if you wanted to take Quran, take from these four. And so two from Makkah, Muhajirun, and two from Medina, Ansar. So he and Ubay ibn Ka'ab. Ubay ibn Ka'ab is from Medina. He is from Makkah. Another from Makkah is Salim Mawla Hudayfa. Salim Mawla Hudayfa. And the one from Medina, the second one from Medina is Mu'adh ibn Jabal. Mu'adh ibn Jabal. So these are the four Sahaba: Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, Ubay ibn Ka'ab, Salim Mawla Hudayfa, Mu'adh ibn Jabal. If you want to take Quran, take from these. This is what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught them. 848 ahadith from him. So whenever they mention Abdullah without mentioning anything after it, it means Abdullah ibn Mas'ud. In the hadith world, if anyone says Abdullah said so, it means Abdullah ibn Mas'ud. Otherwise, if they're talking about Abdullah ibn Umar, they would say Ibn Umar, Ibn Abbas, Ibn Zubayr, Ibn Amr ibn al-As. So they would say Ibn so-and-so, Ibn so-and-so, without mentioning Abdullah part of it, which is the actual name. But when it comes to Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, they just call him as Abdullah. Abdullah means Abdullah ibn Mas'ud in hadith literature. He would perspire out of fear that I may be mistaken in narrating the words of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When he was about to die, someone came to him and said, "I want to give you some money so that you can leave it behind for your daughters." He said, "Don't worry. I have taught my daughters to recite Surah Waqi'ah every night. They will never become poor. They wouldn't need that money. Allah would help them out." And the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, whoever recites Surah Waqi'ah at night time, they would never be poor. This is Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiallahu ta'ala. So he is describing this particular hadith where the two concepts has been raised. One is called Qada, one is Qadr. Qada and Qadr. And they're both facts, and we have to believe in both of those. So what is Qadr or Taqdeer? Is something been measured already. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, before creating any creation, has already predestined, measured everything. What and how. If you want to build a place, you would have all the homework done. You would decide how something would happen. How many rooms, how many bathrooms, how many taps, how many whatever. So when you work that out, that is what you've measured. That is what you have apportioned. Qadar means measure actually. Taqdeer is to apportion something. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala already decreed, planned, but it's whatever good and evil are going to be as a creation. What are the beliefs and disbelief system, kufr and Islam, guidance and misguidance, obedience and disobedience, everything Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already ordained it. So whatever happens has already been planned and jotted down. And when that would happen, whatever, this is part of the whole game. قَدْ جَعَلَ اللَّهُ لِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدْرًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has set a measure for all things. Qada means when something has happened. So we have to believe in that. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created everything would happen according to his plan. Not just that he planned and things can change. فَقَضَاهُنَّ سَبْعَ سَمَاوَاتٍ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created 7 heavens. So qada literally means that something has been happened. Qada, it just happened. And then, so one may ask several questions about taqdeer. So first of all, the most important point about taqdeer is that we do not delve into this matter. We do not need to worry about what it means in deep sense. We need to memorize or learn and focus on few facts. Number one, everything has been decreed and written down by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everything has been predestined. Everything has been, whatever has to be, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has written down. So it has been predestined and then also written down. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is just. He would never be unjust. Inna Allah laysa bi ghallamin lil 'abid. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would never be unjust in any way. The least injustice can never be, exist with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's impossible. So to think that, oh, isn't it not justified? We don't need to think that way because we know for sure Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would never be unjust. And Allah has given us free will. Now we might not square this. We don't know how, oh, is it free will? We don't need to worry about that. We should have our faith in that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us all that. And what we say with regards to taqdeer is few things. Number one, like with regards to how to understand it, just very briefly, without delving too much into it. This is the ilm of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One way of looking at that is, this is the ilm of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For Allah, past, present, and future are same. There's nothing is hidden from him. Nothing can escape him. He knows, he saw it, because present, past, and future are same for him. He's already seen the ending and status of every individual. He just jot it down. So what a big deal. For him to know it is not a problem. It's like teacher, sometimes they give you a task. And knowing your ability, your level for the last 5, 7, 10 years, they've been teaching you in the GCSE now. They say, you know what? I can write down your marks in your biology and chemistry and physics and maths and English because I know this is what you're going to get. That's my estimated guess, educated guess. But obviously, most of the time, it would be right. So when after the results come out, you take that paper and it says B grade or C grade or A grade or whatever, it turns out to be exactly the same. You won't blame teacher saying, oh, but you put it as C grade, that's why I got C grade. No, no, no. I knew from your capacity and your hard work or lack of it that you're going to get this because you don't work hard. So I knew you. But obviously there could be a mistake and wrong judgment from teacher's part. But that would never happen to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah would never misjudge. Allah would never have known the wrong understanding. So that's an ilm. This is one way of looking at that. But even beyond that, for example, a simple example of that would be if someone shot a gun at some person, would that bullet that he has done the qasd, he has done the action with his, so this is from your free will. Allah knows it, but you did it on your own. You pressed the trigger. That trigger would release the bullet. Would that bullet go to the target? It depends on how meticulous you are, how robust you are. Would that bullet go and hit that, say, deer, for example, if you were hunting, and would that go through and through to the deer and cause him to stop running and getting like injured, and you could go and catch him and be able to slaughter him and make him halal for you? Or would it that the bullet would just go through and through to him without causing him any trouble? Although rare, but it does happen. The bullet can go through and through and does not cause any damage because no blood vessels and nothing was hit, and it just went through that track, which is until you got a small hole, and that gets sealed. Sometimes the bullet stays inside the skin. Sometimes it just goes from side to side and just literally scratching your skin. Whether it would hit the object, a solid object inside your body, and then blast at whatever micro level and cause so many different pellets to cause trouble to the vessels around it, or not, only Allah knows. Someone blasted a bomb, which direction would that go? You can't decide that, but you can definitely decide the actual originally causing the trouble. So you can initiate the action, and that is the action you'll be judged against. If that action was justified according to Allah's law, then it's fine. But if it was not, and it was a wrong action, although whatever happened afterwards was not in your control, you will be punished or whatever, because you initiated it. You did the qasd, you acquired that action. And whatever happened, that happened with the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So your trigger would be the reason for, if it was justified, then it's okay. If you did it wrongly, you still have to pay the penalty, for example. So you say, I was only cleaning my gun, and accidentally I caused the trigger to be pressed, and then the bullet came out, and unfortunately my friend was next to me and he got hit by that bullet. And it's not my fault, I never intended that, it just was accident, we were cleaning it together. The court would say, okay, even if that's the case, you still have to pay the penalty. Might not be with your life, but with money, yes, you have to pay a good handsome money for that. It's called diya, not qisas, maybe diya, because it was done accidentally, if there's enough proof to suggest that. So what are you punished for? For the action you tried to do or accidentally did. You initiated it. But then whatever happened, that is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prescribed or destined. The outcome may be different, but your action, that is why innamal a'malu binniyat. Actions are judged by the intention. You take into task for that wrong decision. So Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he once had a horse tender, someone who would look after horse. He asked him after going to the masjid, say, I'm going to the masjid, I've got a meeting after prayer for a few minutes. Could you just do a bit of mending to my horse, clean him and keep him, and I would return back in the next half an hour or so. You just tend to my horse, look after him. He said, okay, fine. He got a job for half an hour, whatever, long time. And he just did whatever he wanted to do with the animal. Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu, when he was Khalifa at that, when he came out, he saw the man has left already. He wasn't there. He went for his silver bowl, which was, some sort of silver pot. He looked at that in the baggage and he found that's been lost. It's been stolen. The man took that from the bag and ran away. And Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu said, Subhanallah. This pot was destined for him because as I asked him to do the job, in my mind, I planned to give him in return that pot. It was written for him. It was destined for him. But he opted for a wrong way of getting to his qadr. He decided a haram way to take his apportioned wealth, which was this pot, silver pot for him. I wanted to give it to him, but he decided to go the wrong way. He would be punished not for having that, because he would have had it anyway, but for going from the wrong route, not the Sharia-wise straight route. That's how you understand qadr. And natural responses, as Allama Iqbal said, तकदीर के पाबंद जमादात व नबातात मोमिन फकत अहकाम इलाही का है पाबंद. We are to follow the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the way of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We are not bothered about what is written or not written because we don't know. We just follow the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Stones and trees, they follow whatever is their destination. But we work hard and we try to figure out, we change if we find this tough time. We try to avert all the calamities, whatever we could do within Sharia boundary. So this is how a believer should be thinking about the facts. Allah knew it, Allah wrote it down, Allah decided, Allah is merciful. He would never be unjust to people. He has given us free choice. So we are tested about all of that. And then you may ask, what about non-Muslims? Don't worry too much about that. People do not become Muslim because they now know qadr of Allah. They need to first know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then the life hereafter, Quran, angels. And then if they accept that, rest is easy. May Allah give us tawfiq. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين.